we're going to talk some Packers today because that's what is on everybody's mind. Charlie, whenever there's breaking news or about to be breaking news, I come to you like every 4 minutes. And so I'm going to start that right now. Charlie, is Micah Parsons a member of the Green Bay Packers?
Not yet. He is not a part of the Green Bay Packers yet, but the Packers did sign linebacker Nick Neiman to their 53-man roster and have yet to make a corresponding move. So I will keep you updated on that.
Got it. We have Nick Neiman. Nick Neiman, who was a 6th-round pick by the San Diego Chargers. I think it was San Diego still in 2021. He led the Chargers in special teams tackles in 21, 23, and 24. He is a linebacker. He signed a 2-year, $6 million deal with the Texans during the offseason, $4 million guaranteed. So the Texans are still on the hook for that. And at this point, the Texans released him, and Bill Huber and Matt Schneidman reporting that Nick Neiman, linebacker, will be signed, a special teams maven contributor to the Green Bay Packers. I think that means they have 54 players right now on their roster, which is illegal. So we assume that at any moment we will get the corresponding email that they have released someone, or I don't know at this point, can you just release and immediately put them on the practice squad? I think they still have to go through waivers.
I think so. Yeah, I think based on what I'm seeing and hearing from some of these other guys, like Sean Clifford made the decision not to come back to the Packers. Apparently he was the one cold shouldering Green Bay in this situation.
I think Kalen King also felt the same way. He did not want to come back, look for other opportunities as he continued to not make the team. So Sean Clifford makes that decision, and Mr. Al Gersma also not going to be a member of the Green Bay Packers because in addition to Nick Neiman, the Green Bay Packers have signed Clayton Tune, quarterback, to their practice squad out of the University of Houston. He was a 5th-round pick by the Cardinals in 2023. He actually did play, not a lot, but he did play a little bit in the NFL over the past couple of years. So he is going to be the practice squad quarterback. I'm reading on Twitter as our friend Andy Herman, NFL, is tweeting, and Bill Huber as well, that Brian Gutekunst wouldn't divulge who was released to sign Nick Neiman. I mean, what? Like, isn't that weird?
Weird.
Isn't that weird that you release a guy, you sign a guy, someone has to be released. Like, it's physically impossible for an NFL roster to have 54. You have to have 53. Those are the rules in the NFL. And that Brian Goody, now all that means really is that the Nick Neiman signing isn't official. The press release hasn't gone out, whether it's terms or whether he hasn't agreed to whatever it is. It's not official because once it becomes official, the Packers then immediately need to release. So whether it's Gutekunst not divulging that information, or maybe they haven't even decided it yet. Maybe they don't even know exactly who they're releasing until other pieces fall into place. Because, yes, if they traded for Micah Parsons, they would need to open up a roster spot for him, especially if they're just trading draft picks for him. We don't know if that would be draft picks. We don't know if that would be a player, couple players, and obviously it would be draft picks. We know that. It'd be 2 number ones. And from everything we're hearing nationally, the Cowboys are not ready to make a deal. Whether it's the Packers or the 30 other teams that may be calling the Dallas Cowboys about Micah Parsons, that the Dallas Cowboys themselves are not ready to make a deal with Micah Parsons. So we can wait on that. I know good friend of show Mike Wickett tweeted out about half an hour ago that he's going to take a 2-hour nap. And when he wakes up, he hopes to hear news. Mike, I know you got a lot of little kids at home. You need that nap. There's not going to be any news. There's not going to, that is, what is that news that we will hear probably next week sometime if, I think that the Cowboys and especially Schottenheimer, the coach, Jerry Jones is just, clueless, so he has no idea. But I think Brian Schottenheimer still thinks that they can get Micah Parsons into shape and on the team. And, so we'll see about that. We are live today, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. We're live at Stenny's on 2nd and National. We got some We Energies folks doing some good work on the corner. We're watching that happen. We've got some great folks at the bar, some with drinks, some with food. I saw a gentleman earlier with a platter of their chicken tenders. Man, I am a sucker for chicken tenders. Charlie, I don't know if we've talked about this. I've definitely talked about it with Tommy, that there was one year that I went to Vegas with like a bunch of my buddies, and every casino we went to, I went directly to the cafe and I ordered the chicken tenders platter, like just chicken tenders and fries. And then I did, like, I think before blogging was cool, like it was just starting, because this is, of course, a couple hundred years ago.
1882, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I did like a blog and ranked all the chicken tenders. I think Aladdin, I'm not even sure Aladdin exists anymore as a casino, but Aladdin with kind of like a Persian theme, the chicken fingers there were the best. Like Aladdin was the best. So 414-677-1250 is the Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line. 414-677-1250. You can tweet into the show at the Fan Milwaukee, at Thunder MKE. If you want to get involved, we are starting things now with the Green Bay Packers, but obviously we're going to talk about Jacob Mizorowski. We're going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers as well. At 2:40 today, we've got a special guest, Anne-Marie Moss. She's the executive director of the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation. They do that big golf outing every June. Mason was the chair of it for like 10 years or something. He was inducted into their Hall of Fame or their Walk of Honor or whatever it was. There was a big dinner for him in March that Tommy and I got to attend to. Sorry, Charlie. Tommy and I and Jason over, our fearless leader in Thailand. He got to be there as well. But the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation also does, they do these really cool back-to-back dinners in November. And the tickets, I know, are on a discount until September 1st. So I wanted to get Anne-Marie Moss on at 2:40 to talk to us about that. We've got, of course, Charlie Sounds of the Day. We've got our Green and Gold update. We've got things you missed, all the cool opportunities for you to jump in on the show and be a part of it here. 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also comment on YouTube like our friend Anton has. He says, Milwaukee, hey boys, welcome to the dugout, Mitch.
Yeah, you missed that.
Yeah.
That's
so so that is the name. Is that all shows? Is that Wisconsin? Is that Sparky only? Is that Wisconsin Sports Daily only? How does that work, Charlie?
So far, I've only heard it be called that on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Our guy Anton and our other guy Mark are on our chat all the time, commenting, giving us great takes. So they named it the dugout. I think we've just kind of stuck with it for this show, but we can branch it out a little bit if you want to bring it onto your shows too. I think it's a good name.
I agree. I did post a comment, I think, in the dugout yesterday, but with so many moving parts, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. But I just wrote back, thank you, Anton. Love being in the dugout. So if you want to post a comment in the dugout, that is on our YouTube page. We are live right now at the Fan Milwaukee. 414-677-1250 is the phone number. And we're watching, the news of what Brian Gutekunst is talking right now. Goody is hopeful that Jaden Reed and Nate Hobbs will be ready for week one. So let's start right there, that he's hopeful. Andy Herman tweeting that at Andy Herman NFL. If you don't follow him, you are not living your life correctly. So I don't know. I don't really know how to take the word hopeful. And I'm going to write down Jaden Reed and Nate Hobbs. I'm not hopeful Nate Hobbs plays. I need Nate Hobbs to play. Like I need him out there week one against Detroit, against Amon-Ra St. Brown, against Jamison Williams, I actually love Jamison Williams. I think he's one of the best number twos in all of pro football. I think those wide receivers are really, really good. Obviously, we know St. Brown is really good. Jamison Williams also really good. We as Packers fans, the Green Bay Packers, need Nate Hobbs on that field. And I know he had the knee cleanup, and I know he got into a little trouble for going a little too hard during training camp. But when you look at that cornerback room, when you look at Keyshawn Nixon, and then I guess if they could somehow channel the Milwaukee Brewers island of misfit toys, that'd be amazing if that cornerback room could do that. But I worry about the cornerback room. I don't love the cornerback room for our Green Bay Packers. This is going to sound weird to say. I want Nate Hobbs out week 1, and then he can take week 2 off. He can take week 2 off.
I can see
don't
that.
Don't play, right? Because it's a quick turnaround to Thursday night. Your body's not fully 100%, but we need you week 1. We need you out there, Nate. That's what Matt LaFleur, that's what I'm telling him. We need you out there. We need you out there for sure. That's what we need. And then the other one, hopeful that Jaden Reed's out there. So if you didn't see the news today and you saw it yesterday, McCole Hardman was released in the round of releases by the Green Bay Packers yesterday. But then he was signed back to the practice squad today, which sounds a little weird because usually when you think about the practice squad, it's the young guys. It's the first guy, second guy, maybe a third guy, but guys who provide depth, but are still learning and you hope develop and progress into something. And I think that with McCole Hardman, it's like he's a veteran. Like, go catch on with somebody else. Like you could probably catch on with somebody else. I assume that whether it was Brian Gutekunst or Matt LaFleur, that they talked to McCole Hardman and they said, we don't think Reed and Wicks are going to be ready for week 1. We think one of them might be ready. We're not sure. We hope they're both ready. We're not sure, but we have an inkling that Reed or Wicks will not be ready for week 1, which means stay here, stay in Green Bay. We're going to sign you to the practice squad. And then for week 1, we're going to elevate you. And McCole Hardman, as a vested veteran in the NFL, if he is on an active roster week 1, his full contract is guaranteed for the year. So whatever he signed for $2 million or 1.4 or 1. I don't even know what McCole Hardman it was. It was a very small contract. But as opposed to being a practice squad guy, if he's on the team in week 1, his contract is guaranteed. And if I'm McCole Hardman, I'm like, done. Say less. Like, I'm here. Like, I just saw Reed and I just saw Wicks, and they're banged up. And we all know Dobbs and his concussion situation. And so you got Golden, and then you got a bunch of guys who should be really good, but maybe aren't really good and maybe aren't healthy, and what's going on. So I am, can I predict? I'm going to predict right now, McCole Hardman will be on the 53-man for week 1.
And I don't think that's a bad prediction.
No, I'm not going out on a limb there, Charlie. Like that's really. It was kind of a low-hanging fruit. It's not. He's on the practice squad, so it's a little bit of a risk. But I would predict that he would be on that roster.
Probably. And I think when you're talking about a guy like McCole Hardman, you mentioned it before. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, every time McCole Hardman has been released, he just goes back to the Chiefs. They always bring him back. They're going to be missing Rashee Rice, it looks like, for the first 6 weeks of the season now.
Yeah,
after
6
all this,
weeks.
That's going down with him. I think that would have been a very easy spot for him to go slide into, but he chose not to. And I think being on this Packers team and seeing what he was able to do in practice, and I know during the preseason games, he was not very exciting. It was kind of hard to watch him in preseason this so far. But from the camps and what the reporters and beat writers were telling us is that he was making some really phenomenal plays, and that him and Jordan Love seemed to have some kind of connection that he wasn't building as quickly with some of these other younger wide receivers. But at the same time, I also wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Will Shepard maybe got a chance as a 6th wide receiver just on this team going into that, and they just bump Malik Heath up and give one of these rookie wide receivers or one of these second-year wide receivers that they also still have in their practice squad a shot too, because a guy like Isaiah Nair is another name that got re-signed to the practice squad today, and he could very easily come in and make plays because he did that in game, not like what McCole Hardman did, who just did it in practice.
Right. I think that's a great point to see what those guys can do. Brian Gutekunst also intimated that that Hobbs and Reed are trending to be available for week 1. It's certainly not set in stone, but that they're trending toward being ready for week 1. Both have been out multiple weeks with injuries. It does not sound like there was an update on Dontavian Wicks. So don't know what's going on there with Wicks, but that is what's going on with the other two. Matt Schneidman tweeting that out as well. Brian Gutekunst, you know what? We'll save this for the next segment, but he did share some thoughts on Micah Parsons, so we will get to that in the next segment.
Kind
of. He did talk about Darren Kennard. He's the offensive tackle that the Packers just traded for from Philadelphia. saying he got tremendously better in his time in Philadelphia. And so that's another offensive lineman that I think can be in the mix. That's somebody that I think should make us feel good. That should make us feel, we don't know about Hobbs. We don't know about Reed, and we don't know about Wicks. And I know we just put the question up on our fan Twitter page. That's at the Fan Milwaukee with Reed and with Hobbs kind of questionable. We're not sure what the deal is with them. Will they be? Like, how does that make you feel, Packers fans? That we think they're going to be there, but we're not sure they're going to be there. Does that give you, where's your confidence level? And I think it's okay to say I'm much more worried about Hobbs because and Hobbs, again, if you look at Hobbs' career, Hobbs doesn't play 17 games. Hobbs plays 14. Hobbs plays 12. Hobbs doesn't play 17 anyway. So I'm worried in general about that. But they need Hobbs out there. So if he's trending toward week 1, man, you got him out there. I'd rather he play week 1 than week 2 with that quick turnaround. And they might say, he's not ready for week 1, but he'll be ready for week 2. And fine. All right. So he plays against the Commanders on Thursday night. That happens. But I'd rather see him in that week 1 because they're going to need all the help they can get against the Detroit Lions.